All right, I think we're live. I think we are. I'm not real sure. I'm still trying to learn this whole new YouTube studio. Things have changed quite drastically on YouTube since I was really on it consistently. And so I'm not sure that we got it right. All right, well, I can at least see Daisy D. Daisy D is here. Hello, hello. See, it's even changed y'all's icons. Excuse me, from whenever you guys usually talk to me. Thank you, Miss Daisy D. I'm doing really well. How are you? There is Miss Marcia. Hello. We are going to, this is going to be our Vlogtober today because you guys know my life is pretty boring. The same thing day in and day out. So you're going to have dinner with me. I'm eating a salad. Steve brought home dinner today because tomorrow is baby girl's birthday. So we were going to do a big dinner tonight, her favorite meal, but she has like 3 jobs to do to get cookies out before the weekend. So she has been so busy and it takes up the whole kitchen when she does it because we're a single residence with 1 stove, right? So it like takes up the whole space. And she's like, Mom, you're not gonna be able to get in here and cook while I'm in here today. So Steve brought us home dinner. So I am having a ham and cheese sub and this Greek salad. It is from a little local Italian restaurant in town. I've got a pink lemonade. And so that's what we're having for dinner and why. So we're not cooking today. Miss Daisy D said, happy early birthday, babe. She said, thank you. So I thought, you know what? While I've got a few minutes, I'm just going to sit here. We'll have a live, how did they say it? Mukbang. How do you actually say that word? I don't even know. Steve, did they happen to send any other dressing? I don't know if see if it's the mixture of the oil and vinegar. Sometimes they put one in one and one in the other. Oh, but the salad is a little dry. Thank you. This little Italian place, I'm telling you what, they have like the best Greek salad ever. And they have really good subs. Now, if I had to pick my favorite sub restaurant, let's see. I like Subway okay, but they're definitely not my favorite. My favorite by far is Firehouse. How many of you guys have ever eaten at a Firehouse restaurant? Do you love them? Look at this chaos behind me. I know, y'all saw in a vlog the other day, it was chaos. It still is. Okay, let's see. We've been out of town all weekend. Hello, Julie. How are you? Bub is out training. I believe he's on his way home. He should be on his way home to eat some dinner, but he's out training. And the Hubs is right in there eating, but he refused to get on camera with me. He's like, no, that's just weird to eat in front of people. I said, no, dog. It's like they're sitting there eating with you. But he wasn't having it. He wasn't having it. Y'all know the camera's not his favorite place anyway. Anyway, who's ever eaten at a Firehouse sub? Anybody? I love Firehouse, but my second favorite sub behind that are these subs right here. They toast the bread. Can you see that? And then the dressing that they use is their own special Greek dressing. And it is so good. It is so good. So if you guys are ever in my neck of the woods, y'all need to go to Nico's and check it out because it is so delicious. So delicious. All right, who all do we have? Somebody say hello. And give me a subject. What can we talk about? I know. Didn't my mom ever teach me to chew not talk while I'm eating? Hey, Tammy Schuberg, how are you? How are you? How are you? Somebody give us a topic of conversation. Throw a topic out there and let's talk while we eat. I know this is going to be weird and kind of rude, but you know what? People seem to love it whenever you eat with them. It's like you're at dinner with me, right? So give me something we can talk about. Hey, Catherine, how are you? Oh, thank you, Daisy. I'll have to tell her that. I'll have to tell her that. Mom, if you're watching, did you read that comment? That hair color on her does look good. My sister tried to talk her into going darker for a long time. And when she first went dark, because my mom's always been a blonde, when she first went dark, the rest of us didn't really care for it. We were like, no, you look better a blonde. And we were constantly trying to talk her into going back to blonde. And my sister would say, no, she needs to stay dark. She needs to stay dark. So now it's kind of grown on all of us and we all like it a lot. But it was a definite transition because I had never known her as anything but blonde. When she was young, she was so blonde. Almost white-headed blonde. And then as she got older, it kind of got a little darker, like a dirty blonde, but it never got extremely dark. So that was an adjustment. Nice. Now, Catherine, where are you? Remind me again where you are. Great question, Daisy. I would like to. I really would. I'd like to get some more videos pumping back over there on that channel because I do miss the daily devotionals. We are just so busy right now. I don't know that I would have time to try to get that in the schedule. But yeah, I would really like to. I've thought about that a lot. Oh, the dog's going crazy. What is that truck? Yes. Oh, did you order something? I don't remember ordering something. Maybe he did for her birthday, though. You might better get it. Oh, Gunner's not happy. Y'all hear him? So to answer your question, Daisy, I would like to try to get the schedule where we can get that pumping, but no promises on that. Our life is so crazy right now. Okay, so you're over in Texas. Well, you know what? It's a little bit cooler here today, too. Matter of fact, it's almost downright chilly outside. I'll have to ask Steve when he comes in if he remembers what the temperature was. Oh, well, thank you, Daisy. I'm glad that you enjoyed those. I really am. Several of you did. Not a huge, large amount of people were tuning in over there, but there was a good handful of you. And I know that they were a blessing to a lot of you guys. And I miss doing them because I love to do them. I love to teach the word. So hopefully we'll be able to get that going again. I'll ask Steve whenever he comes back in here what our temperature was, but it was actually pretty cold out there today. Well, cold for us, which probably what you watch, it'll be like 85. Mm-hmm. All right, who else do we have here? I don't know if I've heard of Tomball, Texas. Have I? Where's that at, Catherine? Like what larger city that I would know is that near? I don't remember ordering anything that should have come UPS unless Bub ordered something for her birthday, maybe. Mm-hmm. But I don't think they should have been here today. Is that what it was? Oh, shipping envelopes. More of those pretty pink packages. Steve, what was our temperature today? Because it was pretty cool all day. I told you, 86. See, I told them it felt cool. Matter of fact, Bub stepped outside, and he's like, wow, it actually feels cool outside. And it was 86. You know it's hot when 86 feels cool to you. Oh my goodness, but it's been raining all day. Like it's been dreary and raining here all day. So I think a cold front is moving through. Oh, okay. So you're close to Houston. Well, then you would have been really close when we were in Houston a couple years ago. Oh, yeah. How about that? We loved Houston. Like if we had a chance to go back, we would totally go there tomorrow. Bub even still talks about how nice Houston was and how much he liked the city. Yeah, we all had a great time over there for sure. That's a good question, Daisy. Did y'all see Daisy's question? She wants to know how I'm doing. Adjusting now that the kids are grown. That's a good question. It has definitely been an adjustment. But I think it's been a little easier because they both still live home. Well, Bub lives home half the week. The other half of the week, he stays with my parents because where he plays, Mom and Dad are about halfway in between where we are and where he plays soccer. So he goes down part of the week and he'll just drive back up to their house to stay the night. And then we all go down on Saturday to watch his games. We showed you the park on Saturday. We did a live from there. And then we all stay for church Sunday and all come home together. So it's been a little more of adjustment with him being gone more during the week. But I guess because it kind of slowly started happening with him staying a little longer and a little longer. You know what I mean? It was like more of a gradual thing than a just rip off the Band-Aid kind of thing. And then, of course, Kristen, she's doing all of her cooking and baking from here, and she works with me in the jewelry. So we're together all the time. So even though the roles have changed and they're out of school and like they don't necessarily need mommy so much anymore in that sense, they are still here. And that makes it a whole lot easier. And like, I love working with her. If you guys watch the vlogs from Vegas, we have such a good time doing the business together. And of course, she got to travel with me up there. The whole family went up there, but she got to attend the conference with me. And I love having her to work with me, you know? So we're doing okay. We're adjusting pretty good. And it's kind of been more of a slow and kind of gradual thing. And so I think that's helped a lot. But great question, Daisy. Great question. All right. So for Julie, it was 61 today, but 97 2 days ago. Wow. That's quite the drop. So you guys probably did wake up with a little shiver, huh? All right. Well, somebody there doesn't like Houston. Steve, did you think the traffic in Houston was horrible? Yeah, we didn't find the traffic to be too bad, but we've driven in a lot of different big cities, And so for us, it really wasn't that bad of traffic, or we didn't find it to be. Now, we don't live there all the time, so I don't know. It could get kind of tiring being in that kind of traffic all the time. We were only there for a week, but all right, let's see. Catherine says she doesn't like the traffic in Houston either. We didn't have too big of a problem with it. I don't think it was any worse than what we see in Orlando or Jacksonville. Orlando has a lot of traffic, and those people drive crazy. Those people in Orlando come and visit from all over the place, even from different countries. So naturally, they don't quite drive the same way we do. Bub talks about how terrible the traffic is all the time because he has to go through Orlando a lot, or he was. They've kind of changed their practice field to a different location. So he gets to go around the outskirts of Orlando and isn't right downtown the city anymore, but he was. And he was constantly talking about how bad the traffic is there. Julie, I would be too if it was 61. All those northern people always laugh at us. As I'm telling you, at 61, I'd be ready to burrow in for the night. When we went up, we thought we knew heat being from Florida, right? So many people that buy the jewelry from us, let me talk with my mouth full. Like, I feel like this is so rude, but if you were sitting there with dinner with me, I guess that's what you'd see. Anyway, whenever we got ready to go to Vegas, we had a lot of the ladies that buy our jewelry from us over on Facebook Lives kept telling us, oh, it's going to be hot. Be prepared for it. You're going to be hot. And I was like, oh, come on now. We're from Florida. We know heat. We know heat. Girl, we were not prepared for that kind of heat. I mean, our plane landed at 1 a.m. Vegas time, which would have been 4 a.m. our time. So, I mean, it was late and it was, there was no sun out, no nothing. Early in the morning, and we thought, okay, we're going to get to the hotel and just everything will be cool and smooth. We walked out of the airport to get over to where the car was because we rented a car for the week. And the doors opened up. Oh my gosh, that heat just like hit you. You know what I'm saying? And I went, whoa. I mean, we had not even stepped over the threshold yet. Like the doors just opened and the heat that hit you was crazy intense. It was so hot. It got up to like 112, 115 during the daytime there. And even at night, I still don't even think it dropped much. Maybe like 5 or 6 degrees it might have dropped at night. It was so hot. But It was a different kind of heat because our heat is so humid. Like you were so wet. Like you walk from your front door to get in your car and you're already just covered in moisture. And of course, some of it's sweat because it's hot, but a lot of it is just the humidity in the air. So up there in Vegas, we didn't have any of that. Like we would walk for miles down the strip and not even break a sweat. I'm sure we were sweating. It just was evaporating so fast we never knew we sweat. Is that my baby bell? Oh no. That means that it's soured. See if it tells you on there how long it has to sit out of the fridge. I totally forgot I put it there for a snack and never went back to it. Oh, man. Well, that's out. Anyway, sorry, got distracted. Anyway, I'm sure we were sweating, but even Bub, like during the daytime, whenever Kristen and I were at convention, Steve and Bub would go down. He found him a soccer field there where he could do his training because coach told him that he didn't mind that he went, but because it was preseason training, he wanted him to still train. So he found a soccer field there in Vegas and would go down in the daytime and he would come back and he'd be like, Mom, my shirt's not even wet from sweat. Like it was totally unreal for him because usually, I mean, he can kick the ball for 5 minutes and his clothes are like he just got out of a pool. You know what I'm saying? But up there, they never got wet. You know, you didn't have that stinky sour smell. That was incredible. What a difference. But it was hot. So if you guys ever go to Vegas and people tell you to watch out for the heat, yeah, trust me, it is hot. Oh, hey, Linda Lopez, how are you? Now, see, Catherine, when we went over to Houston a couple years ago, we thought the humidity was about like it is here. There were maybe a slight difference. It might not quite have been as humid as here, but y'all had quite a bit of humidity. We kept hearing from everybody that Texas was a drier heat. And we have a friend that had come to Florida several years back now. She came during the summer and she kept saying, oh man, y'all's humidity is awful. We don't have this humidity back home. She is from right outside of Houston. But when we got to Houston, I kept telling them, I thought, you know, it's a little bit drier here, but not much. Like, I mean, I still felt like there was quite a bit of humidity there. But up there in Vegas, there ain't no humidity nowhere, girl. It is hot and dry. But I tell you what, the first day, I kept saying, I don't like this dry heat. I like the Florida heat better because it was hard to get used to breathing the dry heat. I guess when you're just so used to the moisture, your body just kind of adapts to it. But after a couple days being there and walking around in it and being outside and just in the heat a lot, when we got back to Florida, Daddy might need a cough drop. Whenever we got back to Florida, it was harder to breathe coming back than it was going out there because there's so much moisture in our air. It is almost like you're breathing water. For real. I mean, like we can have 75 to 80% humidity every single day. That's a lot of water in the air, you know? So yeah, I thought Houston had quite a bit of humidity. So I don't know. What do you think? Have you ever been to Florida? Do you find it pretty comparable? Or do you feel like my friend did who thought that we were just way more humid? I don't know. Did something happen? Huh? What is it? He just died in his video game. Oh, goodness. All right, let's see here. How's Gunner? He's doing so good. We held him up a couple days ago. Well, maybe it's been about a week or so ago now. He was on the live jewelry show. We brought him in and held him up. Bub did. He is heavy, though. What do you think, Steve? Maybe up to about 65 pounds? Yeah, he probably at least 60 pounds, if not a little bit more. I'm trying to remember what he was the last time I took him to the vet. I don't even remember. He's heavy. He hasn't really gotten a lot bigger, it doesn't appear, but we should have measured him when we first got him. All we had was his weight from when we first took him to the vet. So we know how much weight he had gained, but he doesn't look a lot bigger to us, but we should have measured him. Like we should have measured him around the belly, the length of his back, the height of him standing, and we didn't. I wish we would have, but he's doing good. He's doing good. Hello, Music Laura. How are you? I am doing well. How are you doing? I'm having dinner with you guys. I mean, a salad and a ham sandwich. All right, that's what I thought too. That's what I thought too, Catherine. I did. So I'm not sure what she thought, but that's what I thought. Good. I'm glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Linda, not real sure. Hello, Miss Patty Yates. How are you? Yeah, Daisy. Actually, she did. Kristen made his birthday cake. Speaking of that, his birthday's coming up. Are you going to make him another one? Gunner. Last year, y'all, she made him a doggy birthday cake. She got a recipe online of a dog-friendly birthday cake recipe. So she made him this cake, and it, wasn't real big, about the size of a like a styrofoam plate. And it was just not even real thick. All right. So we took it out there saying happy birthday, tried to take his little pictures and all that kind of stuff. And she set the cake down. We thought about like just cutting off a piece of it, but it really didn't look very big to us. We didn't think it did. And we know how much he usually loves to eat. So we just set the plate down with that little cake on there. Well, he went to town, and like he did not stop from the time he started until the time he ate the whole thing. Well, we didn't think a lot of it because we thought, well, there really wasn't that much there, as thin as it was. Oh my goodness, girls, he was down for the rest of the night. His little belly, like you could just hear it gurgling. Kristen's over there laughing. It was the funniest thing. He got so full, and he was just like, kind of like we are after Thanksgiving meal. So this year we will cut him off a piece instead of giving him the whole thing. Linda, back to the holiday plans. We're not real sure yet. My mom and dad, you guys saw us yesterday on the vlog. We went with them to Goodwill. They have been buying up a bunch of stuff for their new home. They got a home given to them up in Georgia. When my granddad was living, he owned a bunch of land up there, a lot of land up there. And so when he passed away, of course, my grandmother kept it. And then when my grandma, just before she passed away, she went ahead and divided it between all the kids. And so each of them have a little place. Well, I take that back. 2 of them so far have a little place on their property up there, just like a little getaway place. And mom and dad had thought about putting a little place on their property. They just didn't have a chance to do it at that time. Well, it's probably been back maybe February or March of this year. A friend that they have up there, because they all grew up, worked the fields up there together during the summers. A friend that they have up there had a piece of property that had a home on it that he wasn't going to be using for anything. His renters moved out, and he knew that mom and dad wanted a place to put on their property. So he told them, he said, if you guys pay to have it moved, because, back in the day, these are old, like farmhouses, because it's in the farmland of Georgia. So they're up. They're not sitting on a foundation. They're up on the blocks. So he said, if you guys pay to have it moved, you can have it. You can just have the house. Well, it's a big house. Like, it's bigger than our home. And so they were like, no kidding. And he's like, yeah, sure, you can have it. So they went up and they hired a guy to move the home. He's been dragging his feet, though. He has been everything he's promised them to have done at a certain time. He hasn't had it done at a certain time, but he's supposed to get it moved over there to their piece of property. And it's legit, just like a couple miles down the road. It's not even that far to go if he would just buckle down and do it. So the plan for Christmas is, if he gets the house moved over there in time, mom wants to have Christmas up there with everybody together. They're not moving up there. It's just going to be like a little getaway place, just a little piece of a home on the property that my granddaddy had, and just a place where all the family can just go gather if they want to. And that's going to be the plan. The question is, will he have it moved before? Will he have it moved before Christmas? At this rate, we're all not so sure. So we're all hoping. So she's been buying up little stuff along and along because they've been finding the best deals. She wants to decorate that place up more like the farmhouse look. This place down here, we've shown you inside her house many times. So you guys know what this house down here looks like. It's not farmhouse, although she has been bringing in a few more farmhouse elements in there, but she really likes that style. And so everything she wants to do up there in this house is going to be more along the farmhouse style. And she's been finding some good deals, you know, like they've been getting big name brand cabinets and what is the official name? So I don't know all the official names. I just say it's a dresser, girl. But I know they had these fancy names. Anyway, she's been finding name brand ones of those that are like $700 and $800. They've been getting for $25, $50. Just such good deals. So they've already been buying it up, and they have it stored right now in the spare bedroom that they have at their home, waiting to get to move it all up there. But they were given a refrigerator and a washer and dryer, I believe. It seems like the house were they given a stove too, babe? Do you remember yet? Yeah, I know they got the fridge. I can't remember, but anyway, they're going to have the whole place furnished up pretty cheap because they're getting it all at the Goodwill. There is another consignment place down there near them that's through, I think, the Sheriff's Boys Ranch. And then a couple of other places that they have, like a secondhand place. What's the word I'm looking for? Consignment, like some consignment places down there that'll sell your furniture for you and then give you a % of what they sell. So they've been making out like bandits on their stuff. And then, of course, y'all saw yesterday, she got her new little lacy Susan because she won. Dad had to put that vacuum back. So that's the plans right now, if the guy gets the house moved. So we're all hoping that he does. We'll see. Hello, Crystal. How are you? Lisa Shelton is here. Hello. Hello, brown-eyed girl. How are you? Oh, good. Okay, so Catherine's having a salad with me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It was a huge blessing, Linda. Thank you, Linda. We're sure all hoping for it, too, because I think that would be really fun. No, Daisy, we didn't get it. We wanted to get it. It was only $49. And somebody else had it and was fixing to get it. But right at the last minute, they decided not to. So they came and put the tag back on it. I ran over there and got the tag real quick and found Steve and told him about it. Well, Steve had already been back there, but he had walked off. So I was telling Steve about it. I said, what do you think? You know, which I knew he didn't really have the money, but I said, do we have a credit card at all? That's got $50 on there because we have been wanting it and we need it. And so then I got to thinking, and I said, that's probably not the best use of the money. And then he reminded me that Bub had been given a car. We told you guys that. A couple people in the church got together and gave Bub a car, but the car had some issues that they weren't aware of. So it's got to have new tie rods put on it. It's got to have there's a couple bulbs that were blown. What else was it, Steve? That's got an oil leak. So Steve's got to get the parts to try to fix that. What else was it? The other light that's out, the third brake light that's out. So anyway, there's some work that needs to be done to his car. And so Steve's like, well, we really need to get that car fixed before we get a cabinet. And I said, you're right. So we didn't get the cabinet, but it would have been a good deal because those cabinets similar to that we've been looking at, the cheapest one that I've been able to find is like $189. That was at Big Lots, which didn't even appear to be as good a quality as this one yesterday. So it would have been a really good deal, but I'm sure it won't be there long. Matter of fact, while we were holding the tag, somebody else had already come behind us trying to get it. Looking at it anyway, we think they were trying to get it. So I'm sure by yesterday afternoon, it was already gone. So we're still waiting. Of course, I would have brought that home and sanded it down and painted it because I don't want the the wood look in here. We don't have any other wood in here, but I would have painted it white. So we're still waiting on the perfect cabinet. I was going to say something else along those lines too. Oh, about the houses. I'm trying to remember, babe. Was Uncle Ralph's given to him too? Do you remember Nana saying? Are you sure? Because I thought it was another old one that they did move over there. Because remember, it took a while to get the guy to move his house too.
He did. He pretty much stripped it because you could see the pictures on Facebook. They stripped it down pretty much.
Yeah. We can't remember for sure, but it seems like one of my uncles was given a house up there too that he did a lot of work on to kind of try to rebuild it. Now, my one uncle, the house that he has is the house that my granddaddy had actually built. We called it the Little House. That just was always its nickname. So if you ever hear any of us on a blog or something talk about the Little House, that's what it was. Little teeny house. It had 2 bedrooms and a bathroom, a kitchen, and a living room, but it was tiny, tiny. And my grandma would take me and my cousin every summer. We would go up with her. Well, I don't know about every summer, but several summers we would go up with her and stay at the little house. We did not have any running water. So we would have to go out back. There was a pump on the property. I guess it was broken. And so, we would have to use the restroom outside. There was a big old cornfield. Like, there were some people up there. Some of the farmers up there had asked her if they could use her land and they would pay her a certain portion to grow some of their crops. Well, she didn't live up there. It was just like a getaway place for her too. And so she would say, sure. So she kind of like rented the land to them. So there was like row after row after row of all these big, tall corn stalks, which is where that we would often go and have a private place to go to the bathroom. We had buckets and different things we'd have to take with us. And to take showers and get clean, we would go down the road, because I don't know if any of you have any kinfolk in Georgia or that live like in farmland. They kind of all live relatively close together. All the homes are just relatively close together there. And so we would just go right down a little dirt road to one of her sister-in-law's houses to get a shower. We had bottled water and stuff like that at the little house that we could use to eat and cook with. But if we wanted a shower, that's what we would have to do. But we loved it there. Like, me and my cousin, we loved to go up there during the summers with her. She would take us into town. It's not too far from Baxley. If any of you are from that area and know of Baxley, Georgia, it's not too far from there. So she had other family who lived in town right there in Baxley. So she would take my cousin and I, and drop us off they used to have a town pool. And I think you could pay like, I don't remember, it was like $2 a day. It was something extremely cheap. You paid just a couple dollars a day, and then you could stay there all day long. So she would drop us off at the pool, and she would go around visiting her family and her kinfolk that she wanted to see, pick us back up, and then we'd go to the little house to spend the evenings. But that was so much fun. So my uncle took that place, that piece of property, when they sectioned it all off, he kept that piece and he redid the house. It looks so good now, so much different than it did when we were growing up. He got, obviously, the water's going. So there's running water there and all that fun stuff. So he took that section, and then her other 2 brothers and herself, they all just kind of divvied it up there. So it's going to be fun to have a place to go. My kids have been up there. They had never been until my grandma passed away. And you guys remember all that. I can't remember. I don't think we did a vlog from there. I don't think that we showed you guys the actual house or the property they own. We did do a video from the graveside. You guys will remember that. It's a video called How to Overcome Grief or something along those lines. It's here still on the channel. You can see that. We did that sitting out in the graveyard. But I don't think we ever showed you guys the house or the property. So I don't know. One of these times when we go up there, we'll have to show all of you. But it's a fun little place to go. Brings back a lot of good memories. That's for sure. What cookie designs Kristen is working on right now? Let's say. That's making you hungry. I know, right? Because I haven't gotten very far with mine, but it's good. Oh. Babe, Do you have a cookie that's dry enough they could see, or are they still too wet to move? I'll take a picture a little bit later, Linda, and I'll post it over in VIP so you guys can see it. She's working on more of the lemon ones from last week. They requested more. She's got some orange creamsicle cookies going on. She hasn't ever made them in the creamsicle cookie, but she did do it in a cupcake, and oh my word, so good. So I can't wait to taste the cookie. And then what else do you have going on? Is the pumpkins a pumpkin spice cookie again? Oh, she's making the pumpkin cookies, like a fall pumpkin, and then some baby shower cookies. She's got a baby shower that she's doing this weekend too. So I'll have to remember to take pictures and post it for y'all. She is doing a great job with that. And she had another lady who owns a, what is that really that she owns here, babe? The lady you're doing the logo cookies for. I think he just died again over there. Can y'all hear him? Yeah, she owns a facility where you can do like weddings. It's like an event location, a big like barn. But I mean, I know when you say barn, like you get a thought of an old rustic barn. Have you ever seen the place? Yeah. Have you ever seen it, Steve? No. Baby, where is it?
I don't know. I saw the address the other day, but I don't know where it's at.
Yeah, I've never seen it. Kristen has seen it, and she said it is beautiful out there, but you can rent it to do like weddings or big events and stuff like that. So the lady had found out about Kristen. I don't remember how. I think she was friends with the girl who Kristen did a wedding cake for several months back. I think that's how she found Kristen. And so she hired Kristen to do, what kind of cookies was that you already did for her? Oh yeah, the Littlest Pet Shop cookies for birthday. And the lady just fell in love, thought they were so cute. So she asked Kristen, she said, is there any way you can get our logo and put it on a cookie? She said, I would love to be able to have those in the shop. So whenever brides come in looking at the facility or anybody else that wants to rent it, I can give them a cookie. Just to give them a cookie, I guess. And so Kristen said, sure. So she was able to get the logo, and there's a place she can send pictures to that will cut cookie cutters in the shape of the logo stencils. So that's what she did. And so she's also working on some of those. So that will be cool. That's going to be a great way to really get her name around the community a lot, because people use that facility for a lot of different events. So if this lady is handing out the cookies and it's got her information on it, that's going to be a big break for her. So it's amazing how things just all work out and come together. Thanks, Linda. She is very talented, and yes, she stays super busy. That's for sure. Yeah. Great opportunity for her. Great opportunity. The way it all ended up coming out. Hello, sweet dreams. How are you? The way it all ended up coming about was because my sister had a client who was getting married, and I guess she must have posted on her Facebook she was looking for a wedding cake. Did the person doing her wedding cake back out at the last minute? How did that go?
She was in the shop talking about how she needed a cake. I don't know.
Okay, so she had gone in to get her hair done. She was in the beauty shop and mentioned about needing a cake. So Kristen said, well, my niece bakes. Well, Kristen doesn't really enjoy doing the cake. She likes to do the cookies or cupcakes, but she prefers doing the cookies. And so at first, whenever the girl was like, she reached out to Kristen and was like, I'm looking for somebody to do my wedding cake. And at first Kristen wasn't going to do it, but the girl only wanted a naked cake. And, that's the kind that have very minimal frosting on there. They look kind of farmhouse rustic, but they're beautiful once you get all the flowers on them. And so the lady said, I have all my own silk flowers and everything already, and we'll put them all on the cake. We just need somebody to bake it. So Kristen thought, okay, well, I could do that. And so it just went from there. Well, that lady apparently knows several other ladies here in town. And that it's just like they keep constantly calling Kristen. Then we had some friends that are mutual friends with my sister. We used to go to church with them years ago, was helping with a housewarming for my sister. She bought a new house and fell in love with Kristen's cookies there. So she hired Kristen to do some for their baseball team. Their little boy plays baseball. And a lot of the moms on the baseball team loved the cookies. So now they've been contacting Kristen. So it's kind of just been like, you know, they always say word of mouth is the best advertisement anyway. So it's kind of like one person talking to another, and then they're all just contacting her to do those cookies. So she has been staying busy and she loves it. She is so tired at the end of the day, and she'll be like, oh man, my feet, my back are killing me. But it's like a good hurt. You know what I mean? It's like whenever you do what you really love to do, it's not, you hurt, but it's not dreadful. You know what I mean? So yeah, she's having a good time with it. No, Daisy, I haven't couponed in forever. I just don't have the time for it. Couponing is really like a whole job in and of itself. You know, you have to go get the papers, cut all the coupons out. Then you have to take the time to go through all the sale ads to put together your deals. We were doing CVS a lot. You guys will remember that from the hauls, and you roll like one transaction to another, but you've got to have it all lined out before you even get to the store. There were nights, legit, I'm not even exaggerating, when we would be in CVS for like 3 hours. You remember that, babe? Her and Bub would get so tired of being in the store, but you have to make sure, you know, you have the right ounces. The coupon has to say the right thing. You have to make sure you get everything lined up with the right coupon so that when you get to the register, it would spit out all the ECBs, and then you take those and roll them right into the next transaction. Some nights we would have like 5-6 transactions in a row. So we just don't have the time. We just don't have the time. I miss it because I really did enjoy it. I like getting the good deals, the free things and all that. But there for a while, I quit for a little while because our stockpile was just getting too big. Like, we didn't need all that stuff. And there was no way that a family of just 4 was going to use every single thing that we had started accumulating. So we were giving a lot of it away and sharing with other people. Of course, you can't resell what you get on couponing. That is actually illegal. But we would find people that we could share it with and give it away. And I told Steve at the time, I said, there's just no sense in me wasting time just to go get a good deal when I know we can't use it because there are other people that can use this. There's no sense in me just bringing it home, hoarding it all. So I took a little bit of a break at first just for that reason. Well, then in the meantime, we got busy with the jewelry and all that other stuff. So we just haven't had the time to get back to it. We still have a few things from the stockpile that we are still using, but most of it has been depleted by now. I think it was Linda. Baby, did you post a picture of that naked cake on your, is it on the honey baked sweets too? All right. She thinks that there is a picture of that one on the honey baked sweets. If not, Linda, there should be one on her profile. So I know you're friends with her. You probably can see it there. If I can remember later, I'll go tag you in it. But I'm sure it probably is the same one that you saw. Well, thank you. And you know what, though? She did a wedding a couple weeks ago. So beautiful. It was like a rose gold glitter. She delivered it to the venue that morning. Thankfully, the groom had met her there. She and the groom have been friends since they were kids. And so he had met Steve and Kristen there that morning, and he looked at the cake and he's like, oh my gosh, it is so beautiful. You know, the bride didn't come in there, obviously, because he was there. But he saw it, loved it, thought it was so beautiful. Well, she gets a text a little bit later. We were at the ball game for Bub. And she got a text. Somebody, we still don't know who it was, either fell into the cake, tried to move the cake and drop it, or drop something on it. Like the sides of the cake was just completely mashed in. So I don't even think the bride ever got to see that bridal cake. So what tipped her off was my nephew had sent her a text and said, they're fixing to cut the cake. And when he sent her a picture of the cake, Kristen's like, wait a minute. That's not the cake that I made. And so we were all like, well, that is so strange. Why didn't they use the cake that you made? Come to find out, that's what happened. And somebody had to rush up to, I guess it was Publix or Winn-Dixie. Somebody had to rush up and get them just a small little cake they could cut because the wedding cake got destroyed. So fortunately, the groom had seen it to know that Kristen did deliver it right. You know what I mean? So we don't know. whoever I guess was helping decorate up the venue that morning, something happened to that cake and they demolished it. So she felt awful. And she said, I sure hope they don't think I delivered it that way. I said, they won't, because he was there and he saw it. So she'll know, he'll tell her. But you know how it is when you're a bride and something devastating happens on your wedding day, like your cake getting demolished. Did something break? Oh, okay. So, oh goodness. Hello, hello. How far is it from Jasper? I don't know. I'm not. Are you talking about where I was talking about the home? The home my parents have moved up there. It's just outside of Baxley, not too far from Baxley. So I'm not sure where Jasper is. I'm not real sure. No, she doesn't, Linda. But we did talk about getting her one of those. They actually carried those at Sam's warehouse for baking. So we have talked about we need to stop in there and get her one of those. We don't have one near us, but while we're down there on the weekend. But you know what? The last couple weekends, I totally forget. Like I don't even think about it. So we need to get her one. North or south? 2 hours from Atlanta in which direction? Oh, you're 2 hours north of Atlanta. All right. All right, let me think. I don't know how long it takes to get from the little house to Atlanta because it's not straight up the interstate, but it is probably the little house from the Florida-Georgia line, which is what, about 2 hours from the state line, Steve? Yeah. Okay, well, it takes us about 3 hours from our house to get there. So then it would be about an hour above the line, which would then take you, let's see, when we go to Atlanta, it's about 4 hours past the line. So then the little house to Atlanta was probably what, about 2.5 hours? About that. So then if you're another 2 hours north of Atlanta, you would be about 4 hours from where the little house is. I'm guessing just based on travel time. That is totally a guess. Totally a guess. All right. So you're in the Blue Ridge. Oh, you're closer to Macon. All right. Macon. I know exactly where Macon is. It takes us 4 hours from our home to get to Macon. So you're probably about an hour and a half maybe from where that little house is going to be. Okay, so you know right where it's at. Yeah, that's about how far it would be from you to where that little house is. Matter of fact, I'm trying to think. Steve, isn't where the little house is? It's kind of like between Blackshear and Baxley, right? Look up. Do you have a map or are you still playing? I think where the little house is like between Blackshear and Baxley, if you know anything about that area. It is so nice up there. And so it's like you step back in time, honestly, because it's just about all farmland for miles and miles. It's a lot of farmland. So it's quiet. It's very slow paced. Those farmers don't get in a hurry. They don't get in a hurry. I honestly couldn't tell you. I have no idea. I have no clue. They don't get in a hurry. And if you really want just some downtime, that's where you need to go. Matter of fact, there is a cell service up there, but it's kind of spotty. And it's just like you just disconnect from the whole outside world when you go up there. You have to drive probably about 15 miles, I guess, into town. Other than that, you're just out in the middle of nothing. A bunch of fields everywhere, except for some houses where people live. Few little old country stores right on the road there. But I love it. We took the kids up, like I said, when my grandma passed away, and we tried to take them around to some of the places we can remember, old stomping grounds when we were kids. Take them down to the Jenny Hole and the little creeks that were up there. We used to go along the road and we would pick the blackberries They would have red berries and blackberries. My cousin and I would pick those and eat those right off of the vines. So we got to take the kids up there and show them all that. And just, it's still almost the same as what it was nearly 40 years ago. I love to go up there. Don't know that I'd want to live there all the time because I like the city. I like the fast paced. I like the movement of people and just, I like that, but I do like to be able to disconnect at times too. That's why where we live, okay, let me just say this. Where we live, we have tried to talk to hubs for years into leaving because you just have to know the county in general. Like we've never been truly happy and settled here, but I do like the location in the fact that we're relatively close to Orlando, Jacksonville, St. Augustine, Daytona. It doesn't take us real long to get to places like Tampa. You know what I'm saying? So we're close enough to some of the larger cities that it's a day trip for us. You can drive a couple hours, be where you want to be, and do some of those fun things, but still be able to retreat in the evenings when you come back home because we're very rural where our house actually is. And it's also like stepping back in time, but not in a good way, if that makes sense. So we kind of like the seclusion and the downtime because I am a very private person. I like to be around people and I like the fellowship of people, but I'm not one of those that wants to be around people 24/7. Like I'm not what you would consider a social butterfly. You know, there are some people aren't. My bub, he is a total social director and he would be with a group of people 24/7 if he could be, because he just loves being around lots of people. Me, on the other hand, I like to be around people and I do love people, but I also very much value my private time. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be around people all the time. I'm not one of those that has a best friend that you got to talk to every single day. You know what I'm saying? That's just not who I am. So I like our place in that aspect of it because you come back here, we're on a little dead end road. So there's not a lot of people around us. We do have some privacy when we're home. And yet on the flip side of that, speaking of Bub, there he is now. Let's see what he's saying. Now, see, if he was here, he would have mukbanged with me. Bub doesn't mind the camera. I don't know, though. He might not would have eaten in front of y'all. You think? They all think eating in front of the camera is weird. Look at me. I don't even know how long we've been live, but I haven't even made it halfway down my sub yet. Because I talk too much. Anyway, I like that aspect of it, but we don't care for our county. And there's just a lot behind it that if we could have moved, we would. So I wouldn't like living out there all the time where the little house is, but I do like to be able to go up there to disconnect for periods of time. All right. I'm eating a ham and cheese sub, toasted sub, and a Greek salad. That's what I'm eating. It really is. Peaceful is a great way to describe it. True, Linda. True. Not 24/7. For sure. All right. This is the Bubster. Yeah, some other people do, but see, I'm the type of person, honestly, like if I think back to whenever I was young, had I gone off to college and had to have a roommate, like I would have done almost anything to get to have a private dorm. You know what I mean? I totally would have. Like the thought of, even whenever I was younger, like the thought of going off to college and having all these roommates and just hanging out and having chaos, I don't survive well under a lot of chaos all the time. Now, I don't mind it for a little bit of time, you know, pressure or a chaotic event or something like that you're moving through, but not as a lifestyle. I definitely do not thrive on that. Oh my gosh, Catherine, that is so amazing. I freaking love cows. I just love, every time we're driving down the road, I'll go, Oh, cows. And I'm always saying, matter of fact, where our church is, our church is like legitimately like 3 minutes from the city, but yet the road that it's on is also very, very rural with lots of horses, cows, and that kind of stuff. So, I mean, it's kind of funny. Like you just go up 3 blocks and turn, and then you're right there at the city. But then right over here where the actual road is that the church sits on is a lot of property. So right beside the church, like legit, the fence runs down the back of the church property. There is a herd of cows that lives over there. And so sometimes during children's church, we'll take the kids out back down that property line and we're like trying to call the cows. Sometimes they come over and sometimes they don't, but I freaking love cows. So that would be so cool. And we have talked about chickens. I want to get chickens. I really do. So do you guys eat the eggs? Do you sell the eggs? What do you guys do with your chicken eggs? I would love to raise some chickens. I know, right, Linda? Here you live in New York City and you're like me as far as that's concerned. Well, I guess that does let you know that you can have some seclusion in New York too, right? All right, so you raise your chicken. Oh, no, you eat the eggs. I thought when you said eat them, you were talking about you raise the chickens to eat them. I know, right? Right, Linda? We need to go pay a visit to Catherine. Let's go hang out at Catherine's for a few days. That sounds fun. I keep telling Steve that my big goal and what I want to do is go to a dude ranch, like out in Montana, somewhere out west. That is the next thing that I want to do, is to be able to visit a dude ranch where I can go like horseback riding and see the cows and all that kind of stuff. I would totally love to do that. I've been saying that for years and years and years. We just haven't had a chance to get to do it yet. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. My sub started out all nice and toasty. Not anymore. Oh, you do? All right. That sounds so cool. Some of the kids in our youth department at the church, they raise some cows and goats and chickens, and their mama sells them too. They've never brought us any of their chicken eggs, though. They have brought us some avocados they grow all kinds of stuff there on their property. But they actually just sold their chickens. I think they're fixing to get ready to move. So they just sold the chickens. But I would love to raise chickens because I love the eggs. Bub loves the eggs. Kristen uses lots of eggs in her baking. Huh? I know, right? So having some chickens would probably say that would be a huge business relief, expense relief, wouldn't it? She's constantly buying eggs. Mm-hmm. We should plan it, Linda. You know, we keep joking around. Well, not really joking, like a serious kind of joke about a sparkler reunion. We should plan it at a dude ranch. Wouldn't that be fun? Wonder how much it would cost to go stay at one for a week. Of course, you'd have your travel expenses to get there, but it would be so worth it, right? Catherine, I know. We have a lady here that works at the sheriff's department with Steve. And when Steve was stationed out here, you guys will remember a couple years back, remember he got that promotion. We took you up there changing his new office and stuff. When he got the promotion back to town, now he doesn't work directly with her anymore, but she was his secretary out here at this office, and she would bring us fresh eggs, and they were so good. They were so good. I miss getting to get those eggs. Then for a while, she had gotten rid of her chicken. What happened, Steve, that she got rid of her chickens? Remember? I don't remember what happened either. Something happened and she got rid of her chickens, but then she did get more chickens. But he's not out here at this office anymore, so we don't get the chicken eggs. But I would love to learn to raise them on my own. I know, right, Linda? So we need to try to plan that. We totally should try to plan that. We have taken the kids, oh, it's been several years ago now, up to some cabins that we rented outside of Helen, Georgia. One year for vacation. They were both still small. Do you even remember that, babe? How old were they? I know the first year we went, Bub had just turned 4. That's the year that he thought he got bit by a shark. You remember that? And then we went back the next year too. So Kristen would have been 7 and Bub 5, right? Somewhere in there. And they had horseback riding as part of this facility where you could rent these cabins. Horseback riding was part of it. So we got them up one day, got them ready, and headed out to where the horses were. But you had to be a certain height. They wouldn't let either of the kids on the horses. So neither of my kids have ever, well, I take that back. Y'all did do like a pony ride at the fair or something. Kristen went, like, what is that? Like, that's not riding a horse, right? We stopped. Where was that we stopped at that one time, Steve, where there was like this, it was over near Lake City somewhere. Remember, we were coming back from, yeah, and they had like a big top tent out there, and they had some pony rides. You could just pull right off the side of the road and let them ride ponies. We did do that, but I know it's not the same as like, so neither one of mine have actually like ridden a horse, not a real horse. Here comes the Bubster. Let's see if we can rope him into sitting here with me. Don't let him in. That's because he knows there's food. Hey, you want to do a mukbang with me? A mukbang. I'm live. I'm eating dinner with my peeps. You want to grab your dinner and come over here?
No.
That's all right. Come on. They love you.
I gotta get a shower first.
Well, go get you a quick shower. You could bring your food right here and eat with me. They've seen you wet, sweaty, all of it. He's giving me the same look his daddy and his sister did. Yeah, so I don't know that we're going to rope him over here. I don't know. I might be on my own with this one. I don't think it's too weird. It's just hard for me to eat because I'm talking too much. I just came up with the perfect diet solution. You want to know what it is? Huh? What? That's exactly right. And she's smart. If I were to try to eat all 3 meals every day with y'all, I would totally end up losing weight because I talk more than I eat. How about that? You gonna do it? Oh, he might. It went from a to a I don't know. Did you play in the rain?
Oh, yeah.
Did it rain real hard?
Yeah, pretty much the whole time.
Oh boy. That's some serious dedication right there to go up and practice in the rain. Of course, we told you guys about what the coach has been doing with them. And it's been honestly a lot frustrating to tell you the truth, because Bub said that some of the guys just really bicker with each other bad, because every week there for a while, it was, well, everybody's got to fight for their position. Everybody's got to fight for their position. And that is true in a preseason. But once the season starts, you guys know as well as I do, every team has their starting lineup. Every team does, whether it's pro, high school, even in Little League or Pop Warner, you have your starting lineup. People need to know that it's their position. It's their position to lose, in other words. They shouldn't have to keep fighting over and over every week for it, because I'm going to tell you this, all right? That ends up making competitors of the individuals on a team, and they never get to the mindset that they're playing as a team. And that's true in everything, not even just sports, but even like in our youth ministry, whenever we have the praise team for the kids up there and different things like that, whenever you start pitting them to where they have to constantly strive and fight to try to get a position, it sets them up as internal competitors. Well, the whole goal of a sports team or any team, when you're together and when you're playing together, you've got to bond together as one unit. And honestly, to try to set these boys up to where every single week, they never know who's going to start. You know, they get out there and they'll start a few people this week, and the next week, those people will be sitting over the bench and different people start. And then he's brought in some other people that didn't have any time with the kids preseason, and he's brought them in and started them right off out of the gate, while all these other kids who've been so faithful all preseason long aren't playing at all. And so Bub said that what started happening is they have all been fighting really bad, even on the field, like just squabbling with each other, fussing. There's always tension. And the reason why is because these boys know. It's not like here's the deal. Whenever you have a starting lineup, whatever it's on, but we'll take the soccer. Okay, you've got your 11 guys who go on the field. Coaches named them. These are our starters. And you guys are here to go in when they come out. Now you keep working and you keep improving. Be ready to go at any minute, but these are our starters. Now the starters know that they've got to keep up their performance or they could be pulled out at any time, but they're the starters. All right. Instead, the way that it is, it's like when you never know, okay, well, I might get to start this week, so I'm going all in. Well, I don't know if I'm going to get to start this week, and this guy was playing really good at practice, so now he's become my enemy. Do you see what I mean? So they're competing with each other instead of just knowing. Like if Bub knew, okay, I'm just going to be sitting the bench because I'm not a starter, then you know who your starters are. You help them develop. They're helping you develop as their replacements or their backups. It's just like in stage acting, you know, you have your understudies, but you have your stars. The understudies are ready to go at a moment's notice, and the stars are willing to help them. They help the stars, but there's not that competition between the understudy. A mosquito must have got in here. Between the understudy and the star, because their positions are set. You see what I mean? So the wisdom in having your starting lineup and naming who they are, he hasn't done that. So he has virtually made enemies within the team of the boys against each other, and it's translating onto the field. The last two games have been horrible to watch. Just, he's got kids out of their position. He's got kids, like he brought in our goalie a couple weeks ago who was really, really good. And you got to remember, this is a pro development league. So all of these kids have either future tryouts already lined up with pro teams or are hoping to. And so they want to develop their skill. Well, our goalie was really, really good. For whatever reason, he didn't play him at goalie. He played him as a defender. The guy broke his leg and he's out of the season because he was totally out of position and wasn't used to playing the position coach put him in. So now he's broken his leg and he's out for the rest of the season. So who knows what kind of impact or effect that could have on his pro career, you know? So we've just been a little frustrated. Of course, it's a good teaching lesson for Bub. You have those conversations with him and are trying to help him have to work through all that, but they notice it. But he says, Mom, these guys are always just fussing at each other, and it's just so tenseful and stressful to be around it all the time. And that's exactly the reason why, you know? So it's like you just wish you could sit the coach down and like give him a little wisdom as far as, listen, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you're doing the exact opposite because you pit your own team as competitors against each other instead of the opposing team. They're not even working as a unit because they all are trying so hard to win a spot that really should have already been named. So anyway, I guess I should get off my soapbox about that one, right? Miss Marcia said, can she trade some eggs for cookies? Oh, you do? Miss Marcia, I didn't know you had horses, chickens, and goats. No way. That is too cool. I had no idea. All right, Catherine, you're probably already gone by now. I didn't see your comment, but have a good night. Thanks for joining us. I did not know that, Miss Marcia. That's cool to know. Hello, Beth Allen. How are you? Exactly, Linda. That's my thoughts exactly. Well, and he did make a comment this week about that. Even himself said that. So I don't know. You know, a couple weeks ago, the boys, I don't know if they were allowed to go or if the coach just didn't know, but not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before, they had a big game that night. And the guys just looked so sloppy on the field. We were like, what is going on? Bub was sitting the bench, could not figure out why they were playing so bad. Well, one of the girlfriends proceeded to tell me that they had already played 3 charity games earlier in the day. Not the whole team. Some of the team, like Bub, he had no idea they had done it. But some of the players on the team had even gotten together and gone played some charity matches, 3 different games on game day. So then whenever it came time that night for the game, the boys were already so worn out, they just weren't prepared to play. So instead of pulling them out, coach left them in there on the field while the other guys who were fresh and ready, who had not been playing all day, were still sitting on the sidelines. They would not have done any worse if they had been put in. You know what I'm trying to say? And of course, that was frustrating to all of them too. So definitely some bad decisions that's been going on by the coach for sure on that one. So I don't know. We'll see how the rest of the season goes. But the way Bub looks at it is he's part of a team, and it is getting him the necessary training and practice that he needs, because he definitely wants to go fully pro. He would love to play in the MLS, the USL, for either one. And, you know, he said if just being part of a team and being able to practice at this level is all I get to do, he said at least it is still developing me. So he's got a real positive outlook overall, but he has been discouraged. You know, he said it's getting harder to make the long drive because it's a long drive. And when you get down there and everybody's fussing and fighting with each other, it kind of takes the joy out of it. You know what I mean? So we'll see. But he's a tough guy, and he definitely is going to stick it out, because quitting just isn't an option, you know, not if you want to go further. So you just have to kind of pull your pants up and deal with it till the season's over. But us on the sideline, that's another hand. You know, we've been having to control ourselves over there. Some weeks better than others. So exactly, Linda. Exactly. That is true. And sometimes, you know, God allows you to go through those difficult things to teach you life lessons that you're going to use later. Because who knows where God's going to bring you. And if it were to ever maybe turn into a coaching type thing for Bub later on down the road, he's learning a lot, like, about the what not to's. So sometimes it's not even a matter of staying submitted under somebody who's really great and a great example in leadership. Sometimes you have to go through those periods of people who are not a great example in leadership, because it teaches you the other side of the things not to do as a leader. So you just, you know, I tell people all the time, and I tell my kids all the time, nothing is ever wasted. No matter how bad the situation seems to be, nothing's ever wasted if you allow it to teach you something. So we'll see where it goes from here. How many of you do I still have hanging around? I always say it's got to be so boring hanging out and hearing me jaw all the time. On a positive note, I felt good. That is true. You really never know. It's so funny too, because he was talking a couple weeks ago. He played soccer 1 year when he was little. I mean, I'm talking like he might have been 6. He and Kristen played on the same little team together. They had co-ed teams for the young ones like that. So they played together for 1 year. He went on to want to play flag football while she stayed with soccer. So he went on in a totally different direction, didn't really have any more interest in soccer after that one little year. He played the flag football, then he graduated up to Pop Warner football. Then he just kind of lost all interest in sports at all for a while. He went into dirt biking, and then he got into his music, where that's really what he focused on a lot. So we were watching a YouTube vlogger. I know most of all you ladies have heard of Candy Johnson. Who hasn't? So Kristen and I were watching her. Well, in one of her videos, she announced that she had a boyfriend, and his name was Michael Castro, which was interesting to us because he has a brother, Jason, who is a Christian music recording artist, and we love Jason's music. So when she started dating his brother, we were like, no way, that is so cool. Like, how did they even connect? Well, Michael at the time was vlogging on YouTube. So we had tuned into a couple of his videos, kind of just to see more of the behind the scenes of Candy's life, because her videos were all structured videos. His were vlogs, like just life every day. So we had tuned in over on his channel to try to find out more about her. And then we got to see his family and his relationship with his brother, because they're really close. Their whole family is just really close. And excuse me. So we got really interested in it. We loved watching those vlogs. He was a good vlogger and funny, so we would laugh, and we would look forward to the vlogs that would be coming. So in several of those vlogs, he would show himself sitting on a couch playing FIFA on the TV, which is a video game. For those of you who don't know, it is a soccer video game. And how many? Was it just one vlog when they went down? They went down to, what's the name of the country? Colombia, because that's where they're from. They're Colombian. So they had gone down to Colombia to stay with family and to visit. And while they were there, he and his uncles and his dad, I guess Jason must have went to, all of them, just about all the guys in the family went to a soccer game to see who was playing. Do you even remember who was playing in that game? I don't remember either. But Bub was watching. And so he started kind of getting interested. He got interested in the video game with FIFA. And from there, his love of soccer just grew. So he was talking about it the other day, and he said, isn't it funny that all of this has come about from somebody's vlog playing FIFA? And I said, yeah, isn't that kind of funny? So that's just how he developed his love for soccer again. So in our state, even though you're homeschooled, you can still participate with your local school's extracurricular activities. So we went up to the high school, told him that he was interested in playing soccer. We filled out all the necessary homeschool information, and he made the team. He tried out and he made the team. So he played with his high school for 2 years, thought he would be done, but he had gone to an Orlando City game because he loves to go watch Orlando City play. They are in the MLS, okay? So they are like one of the top of the line in the pros. And while he was at a game one night with his buddies, he just felt like the Lord told him that that's what he was going to be doing. He had no interest. He had not sought out to play. He had thought, okay, I'm done with my senior year of soccer. I'll probably never, ever play again. And whenever the Lord just dropped that in his spirit, he thought, okay. So when he came home to tell us, we told him, we said, well, we've always told you guys, if you feel like the Lord's leading you to do something, he will help prepare the way and he'll make it happen. And then it was just like one door after another opened up. And even the way he found this team that he's playing with, it was just like you knew that the Lord had to be in the middle of it. So where it takes him from here, we're not sure, but we're just enjoying the ride every step of the way. Huh?
Literally.
Oh, yeah, literally. That's true. Oh, y'all don't have that law up there in New York? So if the kids are homeschooled in New York City, they can't participate with their local school? I know several other states have started that. In Florida, it's called the Tebow law, because I'm sure all of you know who Tim Tebow is. He was homeschooled, and his mom petitioned really hard to be able to get him to be able to play sports at their local schools whenever he was young. And so she's the one who got that whole ball rolling. and got the law passed to where homeschoolers should be able to participate. So Linda, hopefully it'll come to New York too. Hopefully it will, because it's really a great, because most parents don't keep their kids out of public school and make the choice to homeschool because they don't want them to socialize. Most parents, just like with us, it's just a matter of what they're teaching, the curriculum that they're teaching, the fact that there's so many wasted hours. There's so much that happens in the school environment. Steve made that choice way before we had the kids. He had been on assignment one day at the high school. They had a bike patrol at the police department, at the bicycles, not a motorbike. And they had done a presentation at the high school there in town. And one of the kids walked right up to him in his face. He was in full uniform, duty belt and everything, walked right up to him and said, "F you, man," and turned around and walked off. And there really wasn't anything Steve could do about it. And he came home that day and he told me, he said, "You know what?" He said, "If there is that much disrespect now towards a law officer," he said, "what's it going to be like whenever our kids get to be older?" And he said, "Our kids will not go to public school." So, and he was looking at it totally from that aspect of what he was dealing with, the kind of calls that they get. It's a shame that schools, even back then, I know it's even gone a step further now with some of the school shootings that we've had recently, but even back then during that era, to have to assign a deputy to a school every single day just to keep the kids safe. Like when we were kids, that was unheard of. You never had cops at the school, and just the gradual decline in it. But on the flip side of that, it wasn't that we were trying to keep our kids from making friends or desocializing them. You going to come over here? You know what I mean? So I was glad that he was able to do the soccer. Are you going to come over here? I'll make room. Yeah.
I'm hungry. I want to eat.
You can eat.
I have to eat and talk.
You won't have to eat and talk. I'm doing most of the talking. Come on, we'll just try it. If you talk too much, then you can move. Just bring you another hand towel. I don't want anything all over the table. This is our jewelry table. Can't be getting things on the table, right? So, anyway. Yeah, I can imagine it would be, Linda. I can imagine. We went to New York City back in 2007, and I can imagine the expense that it would be. Really? Now, how long has that been, Linda? Like as far back as you can remember, or was there like a certain time that the officers started coming into the schools up there? I know that ours was not when we were in school, but Steve, do you remember about what year it started happening where we were assigning deputies to all of our schools here?
90s.
Steve said the early 90s. What was the reason for it at that time? Because there wasn't like a lot of like gun violence or anything like that. Like, what was the reasoning for the move towards having deputies in schools back then?
At that time, we just tried to offer a good relationship with the kids.
So it started out as more of a community service instead of like a need. Yeah, and it's just gone downhill from there. So, really, Linda? I didn't know that. I don't even remember at all. Do you ever remember a time, even in high school, Steve, where you ever saw deputies come up there? Yeah, I don't remember a time like that. Here comes the bubster. Oh, no, there goes the bubster. He's getting a towel. He's getting a towel. He's going to join us. We don't have too many people here right now, so you won't be having to do a lot of talking. I was telling them all about your coach while you were in the shower and about some of the not so great decisions he's made, huh? Yeah, that is true. That is very true. And I think some of it also has to do with urban versus rural. I think that also has a lot to do with it too. Because for whatever reason, and I don't know exactly why it is, but sometimes urban areas can just be a little more prone towards violence. I don't know if it's because, you know, like, now this is a theory. This might actually be a good theory. Remember how we were talking a few minutes ago about how that we don't necessarily like being around people 24/7, like having away time is good. In big cities like that, people are just always on top of each other, like always. There's always people. So I don't know. Maybe people just get irritated more with each other in the cities and they just have had it. You know what I mean? Maybe that's a good theory. I don't know. I don't know. But in rural areas where you're a lot more spaced out and it's a lot more kind of private, I don't know. I guess maybe then you just kind of look forward to being around people more. Maybe you're just a little more amicable. I don't know. All right, well, show them what you're eating. He's eating.
Can't. The bowl's too hot.
Is it? It's not at the top. Just hold the
I can't
top.
hold the top.
He is eating. Remember, this is from the little Italian restaurant. He got chicken fettuccine Alfredo and the Greek salad.
Mm-hmm.
Did you eat your olive?
Mm.
I want the olive.
It might be up there. I might have thrown it down the sink.
Oh, no. You know I love the olives.
I wasn't thinking.
What did you do with your salad, babe?
It's in there.
Oh, I can take her olive. They don't like the olives I do because they're the Greek Kalamata olives. Woo woo. All right, let's see what we got going on here. Miss Marcia said, for some reason, I'm not seeing anyone's blogs. Uh-oh, can you not see the comments anymore, Miss Marcia? Yeah, I think so, Linda. I think that might be a good hypothesis. Yeah, it could very well be a little bit playing a role in it. You know, you see such different things in the city, and you guys know as well as I do, we've talked about it before in a Cocoa and Cookies. Some of the entertainment and the music that these kids listen to breeds and fosters anger, rebellion, and it plants seeds into these kids' minds that's just not good. And they act out on that. You know, there's so much pent-up regression that they have for so many different reasons that they take it out on the easiest target they can, which happens to be most of the time other kids who they feel are just a little bit weaker than they are. And it's just a shame that they feel like they have no other outlet for that. But unfortunately, that's just kind of the way it goes. So, Sissy and Daddy said it's weird to eat on camera.
It is.
They wouldn't join me. Haven't you ever seen muk? I don't know if you say mukbang or mukbang.
Never heard of it.
In the South, we would say mukbang. But I think I've heard the official way. It's like mukbang. It is a Japanese, it started as a Japanese trend where people would do videos of just themselves eating. Yeah, you never heard of it on YouTube? Like that was the biggest thing for a while. Like some of the highest rated videos where people just filming themselves eating.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's because too many people have too much free time.
Maybe that's it. I don't know. So anyway, I was trying to think of what I could do for Vlogtober because our business just gets boring, just filming the business all the time. So I told Sissy, I said, well, I'll just have dinner with everybody. We'll do a live dinner. It's like they're sitting here at the restaurant with us.
What restaurant?
This is Deena's place. It should be called Kristen's place, but since it's takeout, it's my place. Oh my goodness. They've changed YouTube, the way you do lives. Now you just go right straight from your webcam. Before you had to do one of them Google Hangouts. So everything looks different. It's all that part of that new studio, which I still haven't learned yet. I've got to learn the new one. Let's see what Miss Linda's saying. Now, why do you think that is, Linda? Why do you think the funding for the extracurricular activities has decreased? Are they pouring the funding into better education? Because it doesn't seem like that. Or why have they removed the funding from the extracurricular stuff? Have you heard why? Uh-oh, so Miss Marcia can't see any of the comments. Are you able to at least see the video, Miss Marcia? I don't know why the comments would have gone away. I don't know. I know down here, even when Bub was on the soccer team at the high school, they even had to raise the money for their own uniforms. Whenever I was in school, the school paid for that. So I don't know what they've done with all the funding because they haven't given
Put it all in football.
Huh?
Put it all in football.
Well, in the South, a lot of them do pour a lot of their money into the football. That's for sure.
Football team gets new uniforms every year.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that they feel like they can justify that because the football team has a bigger draw.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they make more ticket sales and bring more people out to the games. So I guess they feel like they can justify putting money back into the program.
So,
Oh, really? Maybe there's an agenda behind that, Linda. You know what I mean? Well, I know that when we got the lottery here back in, wasn't it voted in like 88? Because I think it was like my first year to be able to vote. The lottery was on the ballot.
Yeah, it came in when I was working on Miller's on Black.
Yeah.
That's when we got married.
I think it was in 88. The lottery got voted in here. We never had the lottery in Florida before that. It was considered gambling or whatever. And so it came up for a vote. Are you done with your salad? Can this like stack on top of it so it doesn't spill? And the purpose of the lottery was supposed to be more funding for schools. Like they were going to take a portion of what people spent on lottery tickets and put it in the education system. That's how they were able to get it passed. But the reality is, since the lottery became legal, hardly any of it has gone to education, which, what do you call, if you're for something, you're a proponent. Are you an opponent if you're, so the opponents of the lottery knew that all along, had said that the money's never going to go to education. It's just what they're telling you to try to get it passed. And, they give out these $1 million winnings. All right, Miss Marcia said she can see it. She just can't see the words. I don't know, how to get the words back for you, Miss Marcia.
The money did go to education. But what they did is they repurposed some of the money that was going to education, took it, used it for other things, and then replaced it with the lottery money. So it's like a wash.
Okay. So could y'all hear Steve? He said what ended up happening was they put some of the lottery money into the school system, but they took some of the other budget out of the school system to put it elsewhere. So it's still, the budget still stayed the same. It's just that it was partially now being funded by the lottery. So it didn't increase the school budgets at all. Okay. Miss Marcia, Linda said that on your screen, there should be 3 little dots, like at the top of the video. And if you click on those 3 little dots, she said you can turn the toggle switch to live chat. Might want to try that. I'm not sure what it looks like on y'all's end because we actually have the studio window since we're live. But if you turn those little dots on, it may let you see the comments again. Hello, everybody. I see those numbers are rising. If you're just now joining us, Bub and I are sitting here having dinner with you guys.
I don't see anything that talks about live chat.
No. What's up there on the top right?
Nothing.
So can you see comments at all on your phone? You can't see them either? There's got to be a way. None of those icons across there give you an option to leave a comment? So how'd you just find that?
Just says live chat.
Okay, turn your screen around here and see if you can show them. All right, Miss Marcia, if you're on your phone, there should be a button right there about in the middle that says live
That's
chat. Well, hold on. He hit the wrong one. Hello, Catherine. We're still here. I'm still not even finished. I talk too much. Hey, there used to be an old song. Who sang that song? You talk too much. You got a big mouth. I don't want to get a copyright. I don't know who sang. Steve, who sang that old song? All right, on Miss Linda's, it looks like 3 lines. So it could be a little different from device to device, Marcia. Just kind of look around and maybe you'll see it. All right, there is Gina. Hello, Gina. Really? All right. So now in New Mexico, Steve, she's saying that their lottery gives scholarships. So for the high schoolers that win the scholarship, as long as they go to a New Mexico college, they get their college paid for by the lottery.
There's some similar to
But is it from the lottery? The Bright Futures is, but I don't know if they pay the whole thing or portion. Yeah. Portion of it down here goes towards what's called a Bright Future Scholarship. That's paid for partially by the lottery. That's really cool. That's really cool. Mm-hmm. Is your stuff good? It looks a little dried out now.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, what?
Once you put it in the fridge, it dries out.
Yeah.
And it's already pretty dry anyways. They don't have them super good.
But does it taste good?
It's all right. It's just no sauce.
Yeah.
It's just chicken and noodles.
Oh, I'm sorry, dog. You got home so late. Oh, training in the rain.
Mm-hmm.
Mine's good. This is my second favorite sub. I've already told them, but I'll quiz you. What's my first favorite sub?
Firehouse.
Firehouse. That's right. I love Firehouse. Sissy doesn't like it. You like it.
Mm-hmm.
Steve likes it pretty good, but she doesn't care for Firehouse. I like it. Okay, Miss Marcia hit a button and it started working. All right, good, Miss Marcia. Back in business. What'd you say, Steve? What? Did they ask us that? Steve is still stuck on that question about Colty Boy. Oh, Linda, if you get a chance, you got to have it. We had heard about it for years too, but hey, when did we go to our first firehouse and why did we end up there? Because we never really had a desire to go there either. I can't remember why we did try it for the first time. Was that when we were in Houston?
Mm-mm.
Ohio? What, weren't we at a fine arts the first time we tried a firehouse? What was that sub place that we walked to down around the block there? That was up in Ohio, Kentucky.
Yeah,
Oh, it was a Quiznos. Then when did we first go to Firehouse?
Mm-hmm.
None of us can remember, but now we're hooked, or some of us are.
Mm.
Well, hello, BB. Is it BB? Is that how you say that? She's in Vegas. I wish we were back in Vegas, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had a good time in Vegas. I'd like to go back. So now, do you live there? Are you visiting there? Hmm? Hmm?
We didn't stay in Vegas.
Yeah, we did.
Vegas stays in Vegas.
There wasn't anything that happened that needed to stay.
We didn't say.
That is cool. That is cool. So how do you like living in Vegas, and how long have you lived there? That would be interesting to actually get to live there. That it is so bright. We were mesmerized by the lights of that city. Supposedly the brightest spot on the planet. And I believe it. We were rolling in on the airplane, flying in, and like from 10 minutes out, which you know is hundreds of miles in airplane miles, we could start seeing the lights of that city, and we knew we had to be getting close to Vegas. The pilot didn't even have to tell us because it was so bright. Like as we were flying over, we saw like New Orleans and a couple other little cities here and there along the way, and they had lights on, but it was just like your typical little city. It was over and done with in about 5 minutes. But Vegas, like you could see the lights forever. It was so beautiful. Oh my, you've been living there for 37 years. How cool is that? So then I'm going to guess you like living there since you've never moved. How about that? Huh? Yeah, maybe not, because we don't like living here and we haven't moved. Maybe. So do you go to the Vegas Strip a lot? Do you do a lot of those like typical touristy things since you live there? Or do you avoid all that? Because like us here in Florida, when people talk about all the touristy type things, those of us who live here don't really do the touristy things a lot. We kind of avoid the touristy things. I did see this cool thing the other day that somebody posted, about all the springs. And it was a meme. And on the top, it had a real pretty beach. And on the bottom, it had a beautiful spring. And it said, when others think of Florida, and it had the beach.
Mm-hmm.
And it said, but Floridians. Mm-hmm. And then it had all those pretty springs.
Yeah.
We do have a lot of pretty springs here, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Which are much better for swimming.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to swim and dive and all that stuff. The ocean's not the place to do it unless you go far enough offshore that you're away from the waves.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I have been eating on this sandwich for 1 hour and 42 minutes.
Wow. So not much is different from eating off camera than on camera.
Pretty much not. I'm always the last one done eating. Always. I don't know that there's ever anybody that finishes eating behind me, is there?
Mm-hmm.
The only one that possibly ever did was me, Ma. So who do we still have hanging around? I see there's a good handful of you. Hello, hello. Ah, from Los Angeles. We got to visit your city. When we went to Vegas, we did drive over to the coast. Bub wanted to see who plays there again.
LAFC.
LAFC. Because who did
Bank
I
of
say?
California Stadium.
He got to see the Bank of California Stadium. We took him right downtown to see it. But who did I say plays there? And I was
LA Galaxy.
Yeah. So I was wrong. The Galaxy doesn't even.
They're a couple miles.
Yeah.
West, I think.
Mm-hmm. First time we had ever been to LA. We only got to stay there for just a bit. Like we just drove into the city to take him near the stadium and then pretty much drove right back out. Because it was getting late and we had that 4-hour drive back to Vegas. So we didn't get to stay too long. We just went on a whim. Like I had always wanted to see the West Coast and I always wanted to put my feet in the Pacific Ocean. Well, when Steve realized quite how close Vegas was to California, he told me the first day we were up there, he's like, we've got to drive over at least to the state line. And I said, oh yeah, we've all been wanting to do that for sure. We got to do that. So we didn't have any intention. Well, I had said, let's go all the way to the coast, but we knew it was going to be a real long drive, and we didn't know if we felt like 4 hours there or 4 hours back. That's a long time in the car for a day. But when we drove over to the state line, it took us right at about 2 hours. We were like almost halfway. So we get back into the car, and me and the kids, well, I said something about, too bad we can't go onto the coast, man. I wish we could. And the kids are like, well, why can't we? And I'm like, well, if y'all are down for it, let's go. So we did. We went ahead and drove the rest of, we were already halfway there by that point. So we went into Huntington Beach, and we got out, put our feet in the Pacific Ocean. Well, Gung and I did. You and Dad didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And took some pictures and looked around. And then we drove on up from there into, well, we ate dinner in Anaheim, and then we drove on into LA. So we had a fun little day outing, but we didn't get to see a whole lot. And by the time we got to LA, the sun was down. So you couldn't really see a whole lot just because it was dark. But it was still fun, and it is a memory.
Mm-hmm.
And who was it that was in concert there, though? Somebody was having a concert that night. Who was it? It was a Mumford and Sons. I think they're a British band, right? Mumford sounds British. Say that in a British accent, because I can't talk British.
I can't talk British.
Yeah, you can. You do it pretty good.
No,
Mhm.
only certain words.
I think everybody's about quit talking. We're probably about ready to wrap it up, don't you think?
Yes, sir.
We're about ready to wrap it down. I think y'all are give out on your conversation, right? Not a whole lot more comments are coming in or questions. Now's your time to ask Bub anything you want to ask him. He's done eating. Now you can talk.
Yep.
Now he can talk. So if there's something y'all want to know from the Bubster, when are you putting up the next video?
I don't know.
Have you been working on one?
Nope.
You haven't.
Nope.
You should. Why didn't you do Vlogtober?
I ain't ready for that kind of commitment, man.
Why not? Because you don't want to have to commit to putting up a video every day.
That's too much. People who do that are stupid. No offense.
Listen to that. He just called so many of us stupid. What? You just probably offended half of the U.S. population. I enjoy vlogging. I like vlogging, but it is a lot of work.
There's this dude that Sheldon Tweedy from Australia. He does it he might miss a day or two here and there, but he does one every day.
But what is he?
I couldn't imagine that.
What does he do for his editing? Does he have
Nothing.
lots of editing, or is it
Nothing.
just he just puts
a
it?
vlog.
Yeah, and see, that's what some of our people have said. Like, don't worry about all the editing; just put together a video. But I like all the editing.
Yeah.
Like, I like it whenever you do roll-ins and the different music shots and adventure shots. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, I don't want people to get bored because you've just put up a video. So, but he does.
Oh yeah.
Does he get
He's
lots
only
of?
been doing it for 2 years, and he already has like 800 something videos up.
Wow.
No, over 3 years. 3 years. Let's see. Yeah, 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, because that'd be over 900 videos.
Does he have a lot of people that watch him?
Do it. Oh yeah.
They like that style?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've been trying to do it that way a little more this year because I just don't have time for all the editing.
Mm-hmm.
But before, because it can take up to 3 or 4 hours per video editing, sometimes longer. Some of yours take longer.
Oh yeah.
Some of mine, if I do, like, especially whenever I've done makeup tutorials in the past, or any DIY, it takes forever. It can take a whole day of just editing. You guys have no idea. We might have like an hour and a half of footage that we have to whittle down to 5 minutes for you guys, or maybe 10 minutes for you guys. And then you've got all the cut-ins that you have to do on Keynote, and then you have to transfer them over, and it's a lot. It is a big, long process. So I haven't been doing it like that this time around for this Vlogtober. And matter of fact, a couple of my Vlogtobers have just been lives. Because what else? I do the same thing every day.
Every day.
I get up, I do live shows, I sell jewelry, I pack jewelry, I go to bed, I get up, I do live shows. So there's not always a lot to show anymore. All right, let's see. Oh, she wants to know how your training was tonight.
Good. We just kind of It was just me and a bunch of my friends. We just kind of goofed around a little bit.
So it wasn't a formal practice, just some training.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not really even training.
Miss Linda wants to know how you are enjoying vlogging and YouTube.
It's fun. I like it.
Thank you, Gina. You too. Miss Linda said that's why she doesn't do YouTube, because of all the editing. Hey, Janine, how are you? How are you? Well, a lot, and I've even noticed that one of the girls that I had started watching her channel a couple years ago. Let me start over. I cannot talk today. A couple of years ago, I started watching this girl, and her channel was Pink So Foxy back then, but now it's just her name, Christine Kobzev. And I started watching her vlogs. I loved her vlogs. Oh my goodness. Her husband traveled, her and her husband traveled around the world, and they would just like load up backpacks and go. Like she's one who lived in Hawaii, and she went from Hawaii to, I think some family lived in California for a wedding. They did a whole week's worth of trip in one backpack so they could carry it on a plane. And that's it. And like she showed you, they would just roll their clothes up real small, and they just stuffed it until they could get it in their backpack. But they would do that when they traveled around the world too. Like they would go to these amazingly beautiful places. They would have their backpack on, and that's it. That is all they brought. They traveled really light. But her editing was incredible. She was a huge inspiration for me, even wanting to start doing vlogs. And I loved it, but I've noticed that some of her videos lately have a lot less editing. I think a lot of people are kind of going more streamlined, not necessarily as much editing anymore. Why?
Yeah.
Why do you
The
think?
music's just kind of annoying. I've even cut out doing a lot of music in mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But why do you think, like,
the only time I do it is if I always have like just kind of like one like little B-roll
Mhm.
and like it and like maybe takes up 30 seconds out of the whole video.
Yeah.
And I only do that once.
Yeah.
Then pretty much the rest of it doesn't have any music at all.
Yeah. But see, a lot of them would do like what's the name of the guy who really started the vlogging world off? He really started where he was doing, like he would do those skateboards on the edges of tall buildings and stuff. What was that guy's name? Because he really is the one that jump started the adventure type vlogging, where people started going to the extreme with all their editing, because he did. I forget what his name was. They did a section on him recently on the video influencers. I forget what his name was now. So I think a lot of people were trying to keep up with him to do their style of video editing like he was doing. But it's a lot of work. And especially if you're going to be a daily vlogger, you just don't have time. That's one reason why, because we tried daily vlogging for a while. Remember that? We started the whole other channel.
Mm-hmm.
And we were doing daily vlogging for a while, but the editing got to be so much. It's just hard to keep up with it, especially if you're going to do it every day. So, all right, let's see what they're saying over here. Janine is doing good, doing good. Oh, well, I think we're about ready to round it off here. We'll stop it at an even 2 hours. How about that?
Good.
Yeah, so we got 7 minutes. What can we talk about in 7 minutes? Woo, 4 a.m. does come early. Good night, Catherine. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, that, of course, we're most of the time barely rolling over at 4. We're just barely going to bed.
Ooh.
Me and Sissy.
Yeah.
Last night, babe, how long were you up doing your... Oh, she's out taking a nap. She was up to at least... Well, let's see. About what time did we get home? What are y'all laughing at? Oh, because she was faking. You were faking.
I wasn't faking. I just had my eyes closed.
What time did you go to bed last night doing your dough? 3:30. See, I told you, 4 o'clock. We're barely going to bed. I went to bed earlier than that. I fell asleep out here on the couch. Linda, that would be a good thing to do. A lot of people do it because you give so many ideas. I like to watch crafting videos or cooking videos and stuff like that where I can learn to do stuff, DIYs. I love to watch those kind of things. So yeah, Think about it for sure. You never know where that could take you. That would be fun. Very fun. Let me know if you do. We gonna come over there and subscribe. Oh, we're gonna come over there and subscribe. I miss YouTube because I enjoy it. I enjoy creating the videos and editing the videos, even if they're not the best edited videos out there. Of course, when you go back and look at some of the videos that were early on, you're like, oh my word. More than sketchy. I mean, like, they're downright scary. Oh my goodness. But we got better and better and better. You always get better and improve. Look at you looking like, you don't think so?
What?
You think my videos were terrible?
I don't know.
I'm talking about the latest ones.
What do you mean latest one?
You know, right before we pretty much backed off of YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
They
I
were
wasn't
terrible
laughing
still?
No, I wasn't laughing at that.
Oh, what were you laughing at?
I don't know.
Yes, you do. You're not telling the truth. What were you laughing
I don't know. She just looked at me and I looked at her. I don't remember what it was.
at? Hey, listen back there. You should get over here in front of the camera.
We got another Parker. Are they related?
Nope, this one's, oh, wait a minute. No, I don't think they're related. This one's Debbie Parker in Florida, and the other one is Catherine Parker in Texas.
What was that?
Because I just don't think that they're,
Can't move.
I know that, dog. I'm just telling you, I don't think they're related. Debbie, are you related to Catherine? Let's just ask her.
I want to know. People move.
I know people move, dog. I was just telling you where they were
I
from.
got family in Tennessee.
Mhm. No, they're not related. What? What did you say? Oh my goodness. Hello, Donna. How are you? Miss Linda thinks we're funny. Good. I'm glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. We're doing good. I still got a ton of work ahead of me tonight, too. We've got invoices to print off, packages to start packing. We pack every day. Every day after people shop the shows, we go ahead and pack their items for that show because they pay for them immediately. And we go ahead and start getting them ready. So that way on Fridays, because we have a lot that we have to do to get ready for, we do customer loyalties here. For every time you buy a certain amount, you get some free. So we spend all of our Fridays finishing up any last minute sales from Friday mornings. And then we do our customer loyalties, thank you notes, and all that kind of stuff. It's an all day process. So we package a little bit every day as the jewelry sells so that the weekends aren't quite as, ooh, Steve died again. Dad's been doing that all night with his game. It's agony. The agony of defeat. Oh, thank you, Donna. I appreciate that. I miss I really do. I say that all the time to my family, that I miss YouTube. I miss being able to have the time. Hopefully, though, we've just gone to a new system with our jewelry, a new checkout system, a new invoicing system, and it has relieved a little bit of the time. Well, the first couple weeks didn't, because it took us a while to get the system going. But now that it's going, I'm hoping to have a little extra time now where maybe we can get back to some DIYs or at least some worth the bucks. I miss the worth the bucks. But honestly, I've been into Dollar Tree a few times recently, not to really extensively shop, but just kind of browsing around just a little bit here and there. I don't really know if they brought in anything worth the buck. Ah, these new shoes. I showed y'all those the other day. They are definitely worth a buck.
You got
What?
shoes?
These, my house shoes.
Oh. They look like a buck.
My little house shoes. I showed these the other day. I love these so much. I went back and got 2 more pair. My buck turned into 3.
Well, I know their car fresheners don't work.
No, their car fresheners are not worth the buck. We did worth the bucks on those. I could have told you to save your money.
Why didn't you tell me? I was on the phone with you.
I mean, I did tell you.
No,
I said,
you didn't.
didn't I tell him? He was in a Dollar Tree and he called and he's like, I'm going to get some air fresheners for the car. And I says, well, most of those don't work. And you said, well, this one looks like it's going to work. And I says, well, didn't I?
The only
Babe,
thing
you were sitting right
the
there.
only thing you
See,
said,
she
the
remembers.
only thing you said was you should get the ones that gets at Advance because those are really good.
Because the Dollar Tree ones don't work.
You never said that.
Didn't I?
I thought you did.
I
should
did.
never said that.
Listen, it's 2-1.
Well, who knows? I might have got sidetracked with the weirdo that was talking to me.
Well, you might have. Bub had an encounter. I was standing in Dollar Tree the other day, Steve. I hadn't even told you this. So I'm standing there. You died again. Look at me. I was at the Dollar Tree the other day, and it was Vlogtober, so I was filming inside the store. So I was trying to be nonchalant, as people would walk by, because people don't like to be caught on the camera, So I would put the camera down and just wait till they passed by. And there was this older gentleman. He was a short, little kind of stocky black guy. And not that the color matters. I'm just describing him to Steve because Steve may know him because he works in town. So anyway, he was coming towards me, and you could tell he was just one of them happy people because he was like talking to people throughout coming up the aisle. So he starts coming and he slows down. He's going extremely slow. And I'm thinking, I really wish this guy would hurry up. I want to get the camera back going. You know what I mean? He was disrupting me. So anyway, he gets slower and slower, and he makes it on past me. And just out of the blue, he turned around, he said, "That's some pretty hair." And I said, "Well, thank you." And then he kept on going so I could get my camera back out. But I was shocked because a lot of older people, now, if you're older, this is not a bad thing. But let's be honest. Come on, all of my older peeps out there. Some of the older people don't like the hair. When Bub, you remember when you colored your hair that time? The older people did not like it. They didn't think he should do it. And a lot of the older people, I've even had people at our church say, "That does wash out, right?" Because they hate it. So I just thought it was funny that this older gentleman actually liked the hair. And he's like, "That's some pretty hair." And then he just kept on going. Well, it was down that day. Like it didn't look rough like this. It is washing out though. I need to redo it. All right, let's see any last few comments before we go. Yeah, Donna, we are. It keeps us busy, that's for sure, but we love it. I do. Kristen's kind of getting more into her cookies, so she's not helping me quite as much as she was. She still helps when she gets a chance, but her cookie business is really taken off, so I don't get to work with her quite as much anymore. Miss Linda thought it was funny when you said these shoes look like a bug. Thank you, Miss Donna. This is one of our new ones. I'm actually going to do a live unboxing for the Life of the Party pieces. We haven't even ordered these yet. These are fixing to be ordered. And isn't it so pretty? I love it. I love it. Miss Janine says, "Keep your dollar on those air fresheners."
I know that now.
I mean, it lasted like not even a whole day. I told you they would.
20 minutes.
Yeah, we've done the worth of bucks on the car fresheners. They don't work. They just don't. Let me just tell you that. They do not work. Oh. What?
Is this video being sponsored by Pancake?
This video? No, why? 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 Aren't you a funny guy? He's so funny. He's so funny. All right. Well, we're fixing to back off of here, you guys. Thank you for hanging out with us. Look here. We have kept y'all over 2 hours. Can you believe it? We have, but I love it. Listen, here's the new trend on YouTube. People are going live for 4 to 6 hours at a time. Some of them even 8. I don't know what they're doing. They must just be setting the camera up and just vlogging live. You wouldn't want to set the camera up in your room and just let the camera just watch you all day? I mean, you look like you just got sick whenever I mentioned that.
I'm trying to figure out how people have that much time to watch something like that.
Well, I think they just like pop in and out. It's kind of like just a running all day show. You just kind of pop in and out when you're not busy. Yeah. Well, I guess that way, in case your peeps can't watch you at 2 in the morning, they might can watch you at 4 in the morning or 6 in the morning. Oh, thanks, Donna. You too. You too. Thank you, Janine. Oh yeah, Debbie it didn't send you a notification? YouTube used to send notifications if you have the bell turned on. If you have the bell turned on, it's supposed to send you a notification when your channel, one of your channels goes live. So I don't know. YouTube was turning bells off for a while. So you may need to go check your bell. Go check the bell. What? All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and hop off of here, you guys. Thanks again for hanging out with us. Hopefully we'll be able to vlog tomorrow. Maybe there'll be something a little more interesting. If not, who knows? Maybe we'll have dinner with you again. We'll see. We'll just see how it goes. No, you got a game. Oh yeah, he's got a game. All right. So we'll get out of the house. We'll be able to do some vlogging. Yeah. All right. And it's Sissy's birthday. So we'll definitely have to show her birthday. She'll hit the big 22 tomorrow. Yeah. All right, you guys. What's that? Yeah, Linda, that is true. YouTube has been doing that to a lot of people. So everybody check your bells and make sure it's still turned on. Yeah, Debbie, I think they are. I think they are. All right, you guys. We'll see you later. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.